Hey, this is the national treasure, Nick Aldis, and you're listening to the All Night Long Wrestling Podcast.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of the All Night Long Wrestling Podcast. We are your host. He's the Stallion. I'm the Enforcer. And this week we have a very special guest, a trivia connoisseur, a tag team partner of the All Night Long Wrestling Podcast, the Diamond Diva herself, Amy Rose. Amy, thank you so much for joining the show today. We appreciate you stopping by.
Thank you. I'm super excited to be here.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking a little bit off air. We had met a couple of weeks ago via the Ring of Honor trivia extravaganza, in which we had let you down terribly, and we thank you for wanting to cooperate with us now. It was a really fun experience, though, and right off the top, Ring of Honor is I feel like they're one of the companies that are doing such a great job in this time of the pandemic, just getting new content out there every single day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
Yourself, you're on there a lot. Quinn McKay is doing stuff. They're releasing new matches and stuff. It's so important in this. I don't even know what we're living in right now, but like in this era to keep your name out there. And Ring of Honor had so much momentum. Things were really kind of changing right in February, which we'll get to. And then all of this happened. How have you been keeping yourself sane? And what are you doing over the last 4 months now? What have you been up to?
Definitely. For me, a lot of it, honestly, I've just been playing a ton of video games. So that's been keeping me entertained.
Yes.
If I didn't have that, I'd probably be going a little crazier. So thankfully, a lot of video games and just a lot more time talking to my friends and family. I think when you're in wrestling, you're so busy all the time and it's constantly like travel, training. You're always like on this mindset and you kind of lose focus on things that maybe are a little more important sometimes, like your family and your friends. So it's actually been kind of a good break. It's been nice and it's been cool to like catch up with my friends because everyone that I'm close with lives in Florida pretty much. And I live in Baltimore currently. So normally I'm occupied busy with wrestling that I just don't even think about it too much, and now I've had a lot more time to keep in touch.
Yeah, I think a lot of people really to have that kind of positive spin on it. We're all forced to kind of just slow down and just see what's going on and see, spend time with people that we haven't been able to spend time with, socially distance. Or actually, I don't even know if they're socially distancing in Florida. It's a whole different country. I don't know what's going on down there. But what is it like where you are in Baltimore? Are there gyms open, or are we able to work out and stuff like that?
Baltimore, the gyms opened maybe like about a month and a half ago. So yeah, so we've had gyms open. They reopened like malls, restaurants, things like that. So it's definitely been better here. You guys are like in New York or something, right?
Yeah, we're in New York. We're on phase 4 of 906. So we're never going to open up ever again. So it's a little bit different. I'm glad you have that ability and, everybody has been safe. And I know Ring of Honor, we had Will Ferrara on the show last week, and Will said how great Ring of Honor has been to him since the shutdown. And I think that's so cool and he mentioned that everybody is really just chomping at the bit to get back to work. Do you share those sentiments? Are you kind of over the imposed vacation?
100%. I'd say I enjoy the slowdown. It's been nice to relax, rest my body, and just not be so busy with wrestling. It's a nice little break, but I really miss performing. I really miss all my friends at Ring of Honor. And I just miss the fans. I miss entertaining people. I miss putting on a show. So it's been, a little bit positive, a little bit, I miss it. I cannot wait to get back. So we'll see what happens. But Ring of Honor, like you said, has been taking extremely good care of us.
That is so great to hear. And Ring of Honor is, we've had a lot of guests from Ring of Honor on, Quinn McKay, Shane Taylor, yourself, Will Ferrara, and everybody speaks to the culture of the locker room in Ring of Honor, how it's so much different than really anywhere else they've been. And it's not everybody's nipping at each other's heels. It's more of a team atmosphere. Have you experienced that as well, where everybody really wants each other to actually succeed and not even selfishly?
Definitely. I've worked in a lot of different places. I've worked for some pretty big companies, And getting to Ring of Honor and seeing how competitive those other places were in comparison was like night and day. And, you know, like it really is like a family back there. Like everyone's rooting for each other. We're trying to make Ring of Honor the best show possible and bring out the best wrestling in the world for all the fans.
And for the fans, you know, Ring of Honor is so different than any other promotion because Ring of Honor, they're very cyclical, and where they build this amazing roster full of talent, and then the quote unquote bigger companies are like, we'll take you, we'll take you, we'll take you. And then Ring of Honor, again, you know, every couple of years they put talents in the position to succeed, you know, no matter who they take. They had the great purge of the Roderick Strong, Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, and then you have 2 or 3 years later, you have a completely different top of the card, but with still such great action. And I think we were right on that precipice of getting, you know, the international talent that Ring of Honor cultivated. You know, I'm talking to the right person about international talent, and I definitely want to get there with what you've been doing. But it's as a fan, it's like you watch the product and you're like, oh man, I feel like it, and then, you know, just kind of the legs are cut out from under us. How do you think Ring of Honor is able to do that, where they build such amazing homegrown talent?
You know, I think it's just all about the people that come in. They see the past and they want to outdo it. You know, they're very competitive. I think the mindset when you come into Ring of Honor is just, okay, this is the place where everyone really brought it, and I want to take it to the next level. So I think everyone's amped up. I think if everyone came in and was just comfortable, then it wouldn't be as exciting. But it's like this atmosphere. There's this buzz in the air when you go out there. You're like, you want to have match of the night.
Yeah, you don't see people like coasting in Ring of Honor. You know, it's not like you go to Ring of Honor shows and you see, you know, like the Briscoes put on the same match back-to-back nights, and they've been in Ring of Honor since 2001. This literally since day one. So it's such a, as a fan, it's really it's like a grass. It's almost like the original ECW, where you feel like you're part of the movement. That's how I feel like the Ring of Honor is today. And you just joined Ring of Honor last year, but you've been in the business for quite some time. I was reading you started at the 3D Academy.
Yeah.
Okay, I gotta ask you, Bully Ray, is he who we think he is? Is Bully Ray 24/7?
Bully Ray is Bully Ray 24/7. He's definitely a very strong and tough person, and training under him is intense. But I couldn't have asked for a better coach. I couldn't have asked for someone better to learn from. You know, that intimidation and that level of like, all right, you want to impress him, you want to make him proud. So it helped motivate me. I'm super thankful for everything that they taught me there.
Yeah, I can imagine Bully Ray, kind of like like I said, Will Ferrari, it's talking about being trained by Taz. Two of the same kind of mentalities, where you get the basics down, you do it till it's right, and you learn the old school way with a new school mindset. And I think that's so cool. And one of the things that does make Ring of Honor stand out from the, not knocking the WWE, but when you have everybody learning the same formula, there's not a lot of individuality. And you coming from Team 3D to the Ring of Honor Dojo, there are so many people that, like, Mark Haskins from the UK, you have Joe Hendry, you have Dalton Castle, and you have all these other, it really is like a melting pot. And I think it's just so cool to watch, and it's so different. How did you decide to go to the 3D Academy out of the gate? How do you make that decision?
So for me, I got my start in wrestling. I'd always been a longtime fan, and it was actually my dream as a little kid. I was like obsessed. I was like, I want to be a WWE diva. I want to be a wrestler. Like, this was my dream for so long. And I remember, you grow up, you start to look at like, oh, well, that's kind of silly. Let me get like a regular job, whatever. And I remember I was at a comic book convention, and I was actually dressed as a wrestler at the show. And
who's wrestler? Who are you dressed as?
This is AJ Lee at the time.
Oh, awesome!
Huge AJ fan. And so I was at this comic book convention, and they had mixed wrestling with superheroes. It was called FSW, and so they had all these people in the ring dressed up, Chun-Li, Deadpool. And I remember watching the show and just feeling so excited. It was my first time seeing wrestling like in person, because I'd only seen it on TV. And it was just so cool. It was exciting. And then I looked at the people and I said, okay, if they can go out there and they can perform and they can do this, then I can definitely do this. So I remember it was Deadpool in particular who really caught my attention. I was like, wow, because he was super charismatic, awesome. And he actually trained at 3D.
Oh, wow.
So his name was, he's John Cruz or Serpentico. You may know him from AEW, things like that.
World.
He was on the show, and after the show, they did like a Q&A with us, and they were like, hey, does anyone have questions about wrestling, whatever, you can ask us, whatever you want. And my question was, how do I get into this business? Like, what do I do? And from there, there was a show down in Florida opening up for the first time. It was called Ronin Pro Wrestling. And they were like, hey, do you want to come in and maybe learn how to be an interviewer? And I was like, yeah, definitely. Like, let me try that. And just
kind of foot in the door, right?
Pretty much, yeah. Like I jumped in. My first interview ever was with Al Snow, which was really crazy. And he definitely no pressure. It was a lot of pressure, and it was crazy too because I think he was testing me at the time. He definitely made it very like, hey, welcome to wrestling. Like I'm gonna mess with you a little bit. But it was awesome. It was a great learning experience, and like I said, working down in Florida. The people that always stood out to me, the ones that always had the best matches and always like really entertained me were the people that trained at Team 3D. So I said, okay, there's something right going on. And, I wasn't really trained at the time. I was like, I want to go to a school. I want to learn properly how to be like a real manager. I had actually no intentions of learning how to wrestle. I really was just like, okay, I'm going to be a manager. That's my dream. That's what I want to do. And when I got there, they were like, no, you're learning to wrestle. Like, you're getting in this ring. So
was that a prerequisite to be a manager, or did they just see something in you in terms of like physical ability and they were like, you have to get in there?
I think what they said was they were like, if you really want to understand wrestling and be the best manager possible, then you need to understand what it is to wrestle. And so, they started me off. And at first I was like, no way, like I cannot do this. Like, this is crazy. But I'm a very determined person. I'm super ambitious, and I was like, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna give it everything I got.
Interesting. That makes so much sense. So you if you're in the ring, you see what's happening on the outside, you know what the next step is or what they're going or what kind of story they're trying to tell. So if you wanted to be a manager, my question is, so who did you see as a manager growing up when you were watching wrestling? You were like, oh, that's what I want to do, or who did you kind of model yourself after?
It's not even so much that I modeled myself after anyone, but I really just enjoyed the female talent on the shows. I loved seeing like Stacy Keibler, Tori Wilson come out with wrestlers, Trish and Lita, especially when she would manage the Hardy Boys. So like those were the women that to me were like really exciting and inspiring. And I was like, I want to do this. Like I definitely want to go out there.
I think the manager role really diminished in pro wrestling for a while, and they listen, everybody follows the WWE trend, right? So if WWE kind of got off the boat for the managers, everybody did, but now you see, in Ring of Honor, in AEW and companies like that, you see how much psychology a manager can bring to the ring, and it could really change like the smallest things. It could bring so much to a match. So I think it's it was a forgotten art for a while, but like yourself in Ring of Honor, and I don't know if you include the boys as managers or as somebody on the outside that has a good mind for it can really add to a match. So I think it's super cool that they're doing that. Now, how did you get from? I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, yeah, but I think like managers can bring a match to the next level. I think it can really amplify a story, and you can change the atmosphere of the crowd. You can really help either amp a match up or really bring in some anger towards the people.
And how crazy does the crowd go when the heel manager gets thrown out? Like that's no matter how old you are, that's the coolest spot, right?
It's the best, yeah.
I love that. So how did you get from Team 3D to the Ring of Honor dojo?
So I was training at Team 3D, and like I said, I'm very ambitious, so I would go to as many shows as I possibly could, whether I was booked or not, just try to knock on the door and get my foot in anywhere I could. And sometimes doing small things just to help out, set up the ring, ring the bell, bring gear, basically whatever I could do to help out in some capacity. I was doing it. Because I wanted to pay my dues and I wanted to prove to people like, hey, like this is something I want, this is what I want to do. I think a lot of people have a preconceived notion of people like me in particular that look a certain type of way, or like the diva look where they're like, oh, you didn't work hard or you didn't do anything. So I wanted to prove those people wrong, to be like, okay, like I am here to show that this is truly important to me. And I'm not just like here to be a model or something like that, basically.
Right.
And so in that process, Ring of Honor came down to Florida and they were running a show. So I was like, okay, like that's the second biggest company at the time. Like I want to go there and just introduce myself, meet people and help out however I can. And Florida, Bully had just started with Ring of Honor at the time, and he was really happy to see me there. And they had Final Battle in New York. I think that was in like 2017, I believe. And I said to myself, I was like, okay, how can I make a good impression and just take a chance, make a big jump? And I got myself a flight and I flew myself out to New York just to like really let them know, like, hey, I want to be here. And so I was there at the show. They put me on the first time, and it was such a great experience. I just being there. I just won the title, and there's confetti everywhere, and it was just like such a cool experience. And after I did that, they asked me to keep coming back, and I kept ringing the bell for quite a while before
That is such a story of persistence, and everybody's like, it's luck to an extent, but you have to, well, people might say it's luck, but you have to put yourself in that position. And if that means getting out of your comfort zone, I mean, ring crew, that's also got to be like a little bit of the Bully Ray mentality and the Team 3D mentality, right? Where you pay your dues no matter where you are on the card kind of deal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's all about respect. You got to start from the bottom. You can't just walk in and act like you're a top star. Like you have to earn respect.
And that goes to show, like I said, we've had a lot of people from Ring of Honor on the show, and everybody seems to have that same kind of mentality. And I think that's so cool. Now, unfortunately, you have to spend a lot of time with Bobby Cruz at ringside, right? That was Bobby Cruz is, for people that don't know him, just very little we've seen of the trivia, is the snarkiest human being I've ever met in my entire life. So how much time did you get to spend with him at ringside, and how long did you know before, there was something for you with Kenny King?
Definitely. I spent probably about a good two years hanging out with Bobby at ringside, and I got real close with him. He's one of the funniest people I've known in my life. Him and even Carrie Silken would come down to ring a lot, and they would tell me the craziest stories. It'd be like in the middle of a match or something, and they're telling me this wild story, and I'm trying not to like laugh too hard, pay attention to the match at the same time. But they're hilarious, and Bobby in particular, like you said, he's very snarky. He could be a little mean if he wants to be, but it's all in love. That's just his personality.
Yeah, you have to be a roll with the punches type of person, and you can't get offended easily because Bobby Cruz is he's definitely he's something else. The first time I saw you walk the ring was with Kenny King, was right after he got blinded by the Great Muta. That was consistently some of the funniest stuff on Ring of Honor TV. How did you lead to that Kenny King partnership?
So, it's actually funny, but it was just on a whim. It kind of was an accident. He thought of the idea to be blind, and he met me backstage, and we'd known each other for a long time, obviously from doing the bell and just being at all the shows. And he came up to me and said, hey, would you mind walking me to the ring tonight? I have this thing to do. I can't see someone to walk me to the ring. And I was like, yeah, I would love to do that. And like you said, we came out and the crowd loved it. Everyone backstage loved it. And that's how the idea was born. That's how it came to be. That's
so cool. I think it's so cool to have that kind of creative freedom, right? We're like, let's try this and see if it works. And if it works, let's just go with it.
Exactly.
So you have since branched out from just Kenny King in a very short amount of time. I think it's safe to say you run possibly the strongest stable in Ring of Honor. I'm an Irishman from New York, so I no dialect here whatsoever. La Faction Ingobernable?
That was really good.
Yes. I spent a quite amount of time researching that today, just trying to say it right. But it's yourself, it's Kenny King, Dragon Lee, and ROH. How did that form just from your partnership with Kenny King? And did you know those guys previously?
So actually, I did know them a little bit because I had worked for some shows down in Atlanta that did a lot of lucha libre stuff, and they brought them in a couple times to help us. And I met them through there, but very briefly. So I didn't know the full extent of them until they came in and started performing for Ring of Honor. And that's when I really got to see, like, wow, ROH is something else.
He's probably the most intimidating, intense human being I've ever seen. And, like, his intensity literally comes through the television screen when you watch him wrestle.
100%. And that is why I'm glad I am on his side of things. And like you said, they're the strongest team we got going on. Like, I see us taking over all of Ring of Honor when it comes back.
Well, you started out strong in 2020. You dispatched Villain Enterprises, and then it was Gateway to Honor. I think it was one of the last shows before whatever we're living in now happened that ROH defeated PCO for the Ring of Honor World Title. What kind of pressure does that put on you? I mean, not because you were with Bobby Cruz for a while, but then they're like, you're going to be with Kenny King, and now your stable and the leader of your stable has the belt. It's like that's got to be pretty. It's a responsibility on you, but also them kind of a little feather in your cap saying, I'm capable of doing this.
Oh, 100%. I don't necessarily look at it as pressure. I look at it as an opportunity and a challenge, and I'm extremely proud. I couldn't have picked a better team. I couldn't have picked stronger people to work with, and I'm super glad. I'm super thankful, and I'm excited for our return because it's only going to get better, and people don't know the full extent of what we have planned.
Well, that was my next question. As now being the leader, you have to have eyes everywhere. Is there anybody you've been eyeing to possibly add to the faction?
We definitely have plans, and there's definitely some people in the works, but that's all top secret for the time being.
Fair enough. It's probably not two underwhelming podcasters from New York, but if there's an angle there, we're available. We could be the Long Island branch. We're here for you. Now, Ring of Honor has not been running shows clearly. Has there been any talk about, doing shows? I know now restrictions are getting lifted, and then I see half of the Miami Marlins tested positive for COVID-19 today, so the MLB might be, or is Ring of Honor kind of, we're just going to wait until everything passes? Is there?
I think everything is still kind of by ear. We're still watching the situation. We're waiting to make sure that it's the right time. And I actually applaud them for that because, like you just mentioned, we don't want to open too early and then our whole roster gets sick or, all it takes is one person.
Yeah.
That's what's really risky, especially when it comes to wrestling. We're not all based in one area. We're all over the country. And, I don't see international talent, unfortunately, right now because of all the restrictions. I can't see them coming in anytime soon.
Right.
But no, we just have to just keep waiting and hoping that this dies down and everyone stays safe. That's actually why, thankfully we have gyms and stuff, but I actually almost would prefer we went back to New York and had everything restricted as you guys, because I feel like you guys are on trend to get out of this.
It's so difficult because nobody knows what's right and what's wrong, and like things don't make sense. Like in New York, I saw like a driving school car with 5 people in the car. I'm like, but I can't go to the gym. I'll wear a beekeeper's outfit to the gym. I don't care. But like, it's just, I think there's no right or wrong way to do it. I really applaud Ring of Honor for doing it the way they're doing it and taking care of their talent, which is so amazing because it's like, a lot of the talent, like I'm a big fan of the NWA, and unfortunately the NWA, those guys are having to look elsewhere for work. And Ring of Honor guys, they're just staying safe. And I think that everybody's loyal to Ring of Honor as it is, but that's going to even breed more loyalty. And it's like, just like a bull ready to, once that gate lifts, everybody's going to come out and they're going to come out strong. And that's what we're looking forward to. But, you know, they keep releasing the cool stuff on YouTube, the retro matches and stuff like that. It gives us something to watch. And you said you've been playing video games. What are we playing now? What are we playing now, first of all?
So I play a lot of Switch. Like this guy right here keeps me a lot of company. So
Sure, love the Switch.
But you know, right when everything started happening and we all went into lockdown, Animal Crossing had come out, and I have logged a lot of hours on Animal Crossing. I also play a lot of Pokemon. I'm a huge Pokemon fan. I have since I was a little kid. It was actually the first video game I didn't have to share with my older brother. So it just like it kept a special place in my heart, and I still love Pokemon to this day. So I play a lot of that. And then I play a ton of Call of Duty right now. Like I just got Warzone, and so I have been addicted to Call of Duty. They let me make my gun super pink. All the my kill streak is crazy. So.
That's awesome. Any kind of positive outlet at this point. Now, are you a Twitch person or a streamer?
So right now I'm not, but it's actually something I've been considering doing just because I see a lot of my friends and a lot of my own Ring of Honor talent just going out there and giving it a shot. So, you know, I feel like why not? Like I'm sure there's plenty of people that would love to watch me play video games, and you know. It just depends, because Call of Duty I can get a little mad sometimes, and gotta watch my language. But
sure.
You know,
the temper comes out. I'm not up on the Twitch either. When Joe and I will play like NHL '93, we're big into like the retro games and stuff like that. So I don't think they had Twitch for Nintendo back in the day, but I know there's a huge market for it right now. Everybody's on it, so that might be something interesting. You know, just if it gives you a way to create content and, you know, you're awesome on social media, interacting with the fans and stuff like that. So I wish nothing but the best for you and for Ring of Honor. We cannot wait for Ring of Honor to come back. I can't wait to see what you have in the future. Are we going to see you back in the ring in 2020? Or are we focusing more on the managerial? I know you did some Women of Honor and Future of Honor work.
I think, you know, we'll see where the cards take us, but I will say that the idea of a Women of Honor World Championship is really exciting. And, you know, that tournament definitely caught my attention. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what's in the cards, but I wouldn't rule it out because, you know, I train like crazy. I worked really hard at the Ring of Honor Dojo, and I want to show people everything that I've put into there.
Sure, and I saw you got to train with Cheeseburger last week, right?
Yeah, definitely, and that was awesome. It was such a great experience just to get in there, and I missed it so much. Getting back into the ring, it felt like I was back in my happy place. And, you know, like, I think a lot of people underestimate me. They don't know what I'm able to do, and I want to show everyone, like, I am a lot tougher than I look, and pretty hurts.
Yeah, wow, that's tougher than you look. Listen, you have to keep Kenny King, Roosh, and Dragon Lee in check. So I, for one, am not underestimating your toughness whatsoever. But we thank you so much for joining the show this week. We are going to be following along on social media. Where can everybody find you on Twitter and on Instagram?
Well, you guys can follow me at RumbleBunny777, and you guys can also follow me on Facebook, Amy Rose.
Absolutely, and make sure to check out Ring of Honor on YouTube for the content, and, you know, like, subscribe, do all that stuff, share the stuff, because listen, we're all home now. We got nothing to do. We need to give back to the companies that have given us so much enjoyment over the years. So, Amy Rose, thank you so much for joining the All Night Long Wrestling Podcast, and we look forward to seeing you soon.
Awesome, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Friends.